Hey, welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having an absolute magical day, and thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. We have a new Historic Brawl deck thanks to the release of both the Explorer and Historic anthologies. A ton of new cards infused into the Magic the Gathering Arena card pool, and we're going to have some fun with a Shrine build. Go-Shintai of Life's Origin is our commander, and we've added literally every card that even mentions shrines, along with a lot of other enchantment-based love, which is super exciting. And holy Toledos, this deck frickin' slaps! In the video, we'll break down the deck list to talk about the strategies, the synergies, go through all of the cards, right? To give you a deeper understanding of exactly how the deck is meant to operate theoretically, and then we'll demonstrate all of this within our gameplay footage, wrapping up with our final thoughts, deck review, and of course, our pack opening. Probably just all meat hooks in this pack, nothing else, just meat hooks. An assortment, of course, of different art meat hooks. You know, we'll have a regular meat hook, a foiled meat hook, a borderless meat hook. You know, there's a couple different kinds, right, that we're going to grab in this pack to wrap up the video. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help support the channel. And yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the deck. Oakley Dokley, Historic Brawl, Shrineage, a 100 card deck. So this is no joke. We do have an average of 3.1 mana within the build. So it's not too aggressive. Lots of the times you'll see Brawl decks with a little bit more of a mid-range intensive curve. Not today. And this is really nice. And for the reason of double casting, right? We have a ton of enchantments. We have things that trigger more or less in a second when we cast enchantments. So if we can have those triggers pop off multiple times, you know, we are going to be winning, right? So we're a little bit of a faster paced deck than you typically would see. We do have 21 creatures to our 38 non-creatures, right? So it's a fairly decent balance here. And keep in mind, again, a lot of these non-creatures will generate creatures of their own, whether they're cast or when they enter the battlefield, right? This and that. There are 40 enchantments in the build, right? So that's definitely an enchantment-based deck, and of course, all of our shrines are enchantment creatures. Before we get things started, let's take a look at our commander. Go-Shintai of Life's Origin for 4 has a legendary enchantment creature shrine. It's 3/4 that can pay 5 plus a tap to return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Whenever it or another non-token shrine enters the battlefield under our control, create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token, right? So this is really nice because it can create enchantments and furthermore shrines at will. And now a lot of our shrines will take into account the number of shrines that we control to do their individual effects. And we do have 3 shrines for each color in the build, which is ridiculous. Plus some of these colorless shrines and of course the multicolor shrines as well, which is super cool. So it's a really easy way to flood the field with creatures and receive additional value through the amount of shrines that you have later, right? Bringing enchantments back from the graveyard is no joke either, and we can of course do that a few other ways as well. Whew. So before we get into the shrines, maybe let's talk about all of the things within the deck that are just enchantment based. The Generous Visitor, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with this card. For 1 mana, it is a 1/1, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, right? This is just very good because we'll be casting enchantment spells every turn, sometimes multiple each turn, which is nice, and we can help push up our creatures to deal excess damage to our opponent and hopefully get the win this way. We have All That Glitters, enchant creature for 2 as an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control, right? So we're making the enchantment shrines. The other shrines that we already control are enchantments organically. We have artifacts in the build as well through a lot of the ramp and mana fixing. So All That Glitters is a fantastic spell and can result in a very early lethal. We also have Machiko's Reign of Truth, sorry. The Reigns of Truth. Target creature is going to get +1/+1 until the end of turn for each artifact and or enchantment you control. So just like All That Glitters, but not as an aura, as a temporary effect for the 2 turns that it triggers, which is fantastic. And then of course, Machiko on that 3rd trigger will exile and return to the battlefield as the portrait, and its power and toughness will be equal to the number of artifacts and enchantments we control, right? So really nice body here for us within, the artifact and enchantment strategy that we're trying to portray here. The Starfield Mystic, is nothing different for 2 mana as a 2/2. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So this is actually going to make the ability to play multiple enchantment spells each turn much more feasible. Whenever an enchantment spell you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on the Mystic. This isn't a prime focus, but a little bit of additional value within the card isn't, be anything to complain about, or I suppose. The Chronicler of Worship for 2 mana. This is a 1/1, and when it enters the battlefield, put a random shrine card from among the top 7 cards of your library into your hand. It perpetually gains this spell cost 1 less to cast, then shuffle. The Worship Chronicler can tap to add 1 mana of any color, which is fantastic as well. The Destiny Spinner for 2 mana as a 2/3 enchantment creature. So first off, it's an enchantment, which is fantastic, going to trigger some goodies for us. Creatures and enchantment spells you control can't be countered, right? So this is going to make things much easier if we're playing against a control deck, right? And then, of course, we can pay 4. Target land we control becomes an XX elemental creature token with trample and haste until the end of turn, where X is the number of enchantments you control. It's still a land, so there's an easy way to get a ton of damage into our opponent here as well. And we can pay this multiple times, which is pretty goofy. And as I'll get to in a second, we have ways in the deck to just generate so much mana. Is ridiculous. It's a little bit upsetting when you think of it. But before we get there, though, we have the Kami of Transience for 2. It's a 2/2 with trample, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the Kami at the beginning of each end step. If an enchantment was put into the graveyard from the battlefield this turn, we may return the Kami from the graveyard to our hand, which is fantastic. So a lot of replayability here. It is a decent body that gains a trample. Well, it has trample and gains a +1/+1 counters, right? So we love that. But what I was referencing earlier is the Sanctum Weaver for 2 mana, 0/2, an enchantment, which is fantastic. And then we can tap it to add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of enchantments that we control. Oh my lord. So, it's not going to be uncommon to be adding, 5 mana, 10 mana, dare I say 15, 20 mana. Once we do really fold out, our strategy. And, if you weren't double casting before, you certainly will be now. And, to add to this a little bit later, the deck has plenty of draw as well to allow you to continually play multiple spells each turn and not really be punished for it. Moving on, however, we do have the Visionary for 2. This is a 1/3 enchantment, which is fantastic. We can channel it from our hand, which just means discarding it with an additional mana cost, in this case 2 plus double X. Discard it, return X target non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. So this isn't bad. The majority of shrines, and in fact I think all of the shrines, are legendary. However, we have a lot of goodies on the side that we can bring back with the Visionary. And of course, it itself is the enchantment creature, which is nice. And we can pay 2. And wait, there's more. It's a land ramp. Exactly. I know, right? Pay 2, put it back to our hand, put a land from the top 4 into the battlefield, which is fantastic. The Weaver of Harmony, another enchantment creature. It's a 2/2 for 2. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. Now that's what I'm talking about. But wait, again, there's more, and that's what's fantastic about this deck is just, it doesn't have an off button. There are no breaks here. Paying 1, tapping it, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source, and you may choose new targets for the copy. All of our shrines have crazy cool triggers, including the Sanctum of All, which we'll get to in a second. But copying these triggers is redonkulous duty. We have the Naturalist for 2 mana as a 2/2. A lifelink here, and then enchantment spells will cost 1 less to cast. That's pretty, pretty big deal here. in all honesty, reducing basically everything in our deck. You've seen that we had 40 enchantments in the build earlier, so that is quite nice. We have the Sterling Grove here. Other enchantments we control have Shroud. This is quite nice, I find, and then your opponent's not going to be dealing with things. A player or permanent with Shroud can't be the target of spells or abilities. So keep in mind, we do, with an ability, target some of our things with the Generous Visitor, and the Shroud could potentially stop that. I don't know. Yeah. And then pay 1, sacrifice the Grove, search our library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put that card on the top of our library. And, there's a couple different things that we want with priority. But at the end of the day, we can really take whatever helps us out within the particular situation that we find ourselves in. Oakley Dokley. Harvest Hand, another enchantment creature for 2. It's a 1/2 this time. And whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you're going to gain 1 life and draw a card. Holy Toledo's. So this is fantastic. We have Dance of the Manse here as well. We pay 2 plus X sorcery speed to return X target artifacts and or non-aura enchantments, which is what we'll be doing, with mana value X or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. If X is 6 or more, those permanents are 4/4, and they're going to be creatures in addition to their other types, which is quite nice as well. Some of our shrines are already creatures, but some of them are just enchantments. But now we can make them creatures as well, which is pretty cool to utilize them in our assault duty. Banishing Light doesn't really utilize enchantments or artifacts. We'll get back to some of these things in a bit. The Idyllic Tutor is nice. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Again, there's a couple high priority things that I'll wrap back to at the end, but don't be afraid to take whatever is going to fix this specific field state that you find yourself in. Kitty, you're a little bit distracting. Catilda's quite nice. Lifelink, protection from vampires, power and toughness are equal to the number of spirits and cat hairs that you control. Enchantments you control. And then if something happens to it, we can replay it as the enchantment for 5. It's an aura, and the enchanted creature will have the same effect. Lifelink, flying, protection from vampires, and plus X, where X is the number of spirits and or enchantments that you control, which is quite nice. We have the Ancestral Mask for 3 as an aura. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. Very similar to All That Glitters, but a little bit beefier, right? We have the Enchantress's Presence for 3 as an enchantment, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Sustainable card draw is very nice, especially since we have so much mana availability as well. You can Defense the Temple as an enchantment, creating the monk that taps for mana now, which is nice. Putting 2 counters on things, and then finally transforming itself into another enchantment creature, the Rising Star, a 2/2 with flying, that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay up to X, right? As many as you want, and put that many +1/+1 counters on that creature. As long as you have 5 or more modified creatures, creatures with auras, artifacts, equipment, +1/+1 counter, well, any kind of counter on it, will count as a modified creature, right? And it's going to give it +5/+5 and trample, which is pretty goofy as well. So a very nice card here within the build. Omen of the Hunt, with flash, grabbing us a land. We can sack it later to scry, which is decent. The Citizen's Champion, 1/3 Constellation, which is an older mechanic. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, it'll trigger a specific thing. And in this case, when you do so, put a +1/+1 counter on the champion and draw cards with some more sustainable card draw here. God of the Trees, a 1/4 with vigilance, adding mana of any color, which is fantastic. And then other legendary creatures we control will have the same effect, which is really, really cool because, again, we have a ton of legendary creatures. Uro, gonna grab some life, gonna play a land, it's gonna do the same thing whenever it attacks once you've escaped it. It's just a good card. Not necessarily related to enchantments at all, but the ramp is quite nice. We have the Archon. Now, this is where things get spicy. As a 3/4 for 4 with flying and lifelink, creatures, Pegasus you control have lifelink. Again, with Constellation. And this time, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under our control, we create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. So this is the first way to create tokens through playing enchantments, and I've talked about that a few times as we progress through the deck tech so far, just so you're familiar with those. There are many more. One of which is the Hollow Taunting, again for 4 as an enchantment, which would trigger the Pegasus, or, you know, the other things we have in the build, right? As long as there are 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. That's going to help us get the job done, right? Quick lethal. Put them out of their misery at a certain point. And whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit cleric creature token. With this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits that we control, which is fantastic. So, you know, we're going to be creating many spirits, and they're going to be pretty buff and eventually gain flying and vigilance as well. And, you know, that's on side of the Pegasi that we'll be creating, which is quite nice as well. You know, there's some removal here. We can talk about that later. Sigil of the Empty Throne for 5. An enchantment. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Right, so now we're also making angels whenever we cast enchantments, which is quite nice. On that same note, Sharp Typhoon for 6. An enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell enchantment, you're going to create a shark with XX equal to that card's mana cost, which is just like redonkulous. We can cycle it for 2 plus X to create a shark with power and toughness equal to X. Not great, but at the end of the day, if that's the situation you find yourself in, sure, go for it, right? And I think that is, you know, a lot of the ways to utilize enchantments in the deck. We can grab stuff here with the Steward for 5. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an aura or shrine card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. So, you know, I've also talked about how we can search for enchantments. The Tutor was one way. Sacrificing the Grove was another. We have the Steward also here to help us search. And we're going to probably be grabbing the Sanctum of All if we don't have it yet. This is one of the main components in the Shrine deck, and a good segue into the Shrines. However, before we do that, I want to mention some of the removal and mana ramp first. So coming back to the Sanctum of All, and then maybe let's talk about the mana ramp now quickly. So already mentioning some of the things like Defend the Temple, making the Monk that taps for mana. But, you know, the Signet's something that we've not mentioned here. Artifact for 2, mana in our commander's identity, in which in this case it's multicolor for 5, as the ability here that it has. The Cold Steel Heart, 2, coming in tapped. We choose a color. So, you know, choosing the color you don't have, and again, very, very nice just for consistency's sake. Chromatic Lantern, any color of mana. You know, 3 lands we control now tap for any color of mana as well. So super, super, super nice mana fixing here. Key to the Archive is going to tap for 2 mana of any combination of colors, which is just, again, ridiculous as far as mana fixing goes. Plus, when it enters the battlefield, it'll do so tapped, which not great, but we get to draft a card from its spellbook. You know, if you're unfamiliar, you want to go for Approach of the Second Sun if you don't need the field wipe or, you know, get the double turn. There's a couple cool things in here. But again, discretion is up to the pilot for whatever that situation requires. There is, again, a secondary Demonic Tutor, which can find the Sanctum of All here as well, which is quite nice through the key. And then mana ramp, also we mentioned through the Weaver, but also through the Green Shrine as well. We'll wrap back to that when we start to talk about the shrines. Before we do, let's talk about the removal. We have Banishing Light as an enchantment. Enters the battlefield for 3. Exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Same thing goes for Borrowed Time. You know, it's just a different name for the card, which is fantastic. Sealed Away in similar fashion for 2 mana with Flash. Tapped creature. It has to be tapped. So not getting anything with Vigilance, but still, you know, really good. Again, the Circle of Confinement, similar fashion for 2. Creature 3 or less until it leaves the battlefield. If it's a vampire, if they cast a vampire with the same name as the exiled card, so it would have to both be and them cast a vampire, you're going to gain 2 life, which is decent. You know, uncommon, but it's fine. We also have Field Wipes through Settle the Wreckage. Exile all attacking creatures. Wrath of God, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. We have single target through Elspeth, exile target permanent and opponent controls. We also have Binding of the Old Gods, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Both of these are enchantments, which is quite nice. Of course, the red shrine can hit creatures. The black shrine, I believe, can hit creatures. Before we get into the shrines, we do have Whirlwind of Thought as well as a value-based card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card for 4 as an enchantment, which is quite nice. We talked about Dance of the Manse already. Removal through the Calming War, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Much like Binding, if we didn't mention that already. I think we did. No, we said Elspeth Conquers Death. But also the Calming War. And then it can return something. And then finally exile and transform into the Manifest, which is ridiculous. 6/6 Flying Trample. It's all colors. Whenever it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in our graveyard. We return it to our hand. And then it gets +X/+O until the end of turn, where X was that card's mana value, which is, pretty decent body there as well. It is also, I may add, an enchantment creature, which is quite nice. So, thank you for bearing with me. We're almost done. Now we can finally talk about the other shrine creatures in the deck. But I wanted to get everything else out of the way first. So we should have 3 shrines of each color. First off, we have the white shrines. The Sanctum of Tranquil Light for 1. Pay 6, tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. So you should be able to pay 1 to get this off eventually. Then we move on to the Lost Wisdom for 2. This is a blue shrine, a 0/4 with flying. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, target player mills X cards, where X is the number of shrines that you control. Again, for 2, the Sanctum of Stone Fangs. So much cat hair. I feel like this little guy is the problem. Being, are you the cat hair problem? Oh. The shrines, opponent will lose X life and you'll gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. It's ridiculous. And we talked about doubling some of the abilities from our enchantments. This is one that would be very good to double. We have the Boundless Vigor for 2 as well, a 1/1 with trample. And at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target shrine for each shrine you control, which is fairly heavy because they do add up. Just making sure I don't miss any of them. We have Go-Shintai of Ancient Wars for 3. It's a 2/2 with first strike. Pay 1 at the beginning of your end step. If you do, X damage to target player or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. So this goes really well with the Stone Fangs. Infinite Rage for 3 as well. At the beginning of your end step, Infinite Rage deals damage to target, any target, in fact, equal to the number of shrines you control. So this is very good, again, with the Fangs, with the Ancient War. And then the Shattered Heights, paying 1, discarding a land card to deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines that we control, right? So a ton of removal within our shrines, as we can see, and a lot of damage as well. We have the Fruitful Harvest. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of shrines you control, right? So this is a nice way to ramp. Moving on, we have the Shared Purpose for 4. A 1/3 with Vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless spirit, which is, in fact, very important to us, for each shrine you control. So you can make a ton of spirits, which is very good with the Hallowed Haunting, as we will want 7 or more enchantments. Oh no, that's... the spirits have power and toughness equal to the number of spirits we control. That's where it comes into handy. I knew it was Hallowed Haunting. But still, again, every spirit that we make with Hallowed Haunting now gets a massive buff equal to the number of enchantments or shrines that we control, which is ridiculous. Anywho, moving on, we have the Cleansing Fire for 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life for each shrine. That is a lot of life. Like, a lot of life. Wow. Calm Waters, you draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card, which is ridiculous. This is, again, a very big draw. Hidden Cruelty, pay 1 at the beginning of your end step. When you do, destroy target creature with toughness X or less, where X number being the number of shrines as always. Again, really good removal here. We have Knight's Reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent discards a card for each shrine you control. Oh, I like this one a lot. It annihilates their entire hand, and now they're top decking, right? Then we have the Seeing Winds for 5 at the beginning of of your upkeep. Draw a card for each shrine you control. Again, massive draw here as well. Life's Web for 5 at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each shrine you control. Again, helping us with the Hallowed Haunting spirits becoming quite a lot stronger. And then finally, Sanctum of All. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and or graveyard for a shrine card, put it into the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability is going to trigger an additional time, right? So, we talked about the Ancient Wars, Infinite Rage, Stone Fangs, and if we're doubling those effects, how do you survive that? So not only do all of our shrines have a massive amount of utility within the deck, like ridiculous amount, we have, the unbearing amount of triggers through the enchantments via Hallowed Haunting, the Empty Throne, the Archon of Sun's Grace, right? It just gets out of hand, which is really cool. And then, sub that with a decent amount of removal, field control, and a nice ramp and mana fixing. We are all set, doogies. And the Shark Typhoon, creating sharks. Don't forget about that. I did forget to mention it. So those are all of the shrines. Those are all of the cards in the deck. Of course, we do have some lands. Man Tower is the most important thing. World Tree as well. Triomes to make things super consistent. The Field Passage. A lot of dual lands. Just making sure our mana base is super consistent. Mostly skewing it towards white and green. And that's going to get us going. And of course, once we hit these colorless mana fixing artifacts, it's going to be a-okay no matter what. So, holy Toledos, that is the deck tech. Now, these are a little bit of a longer process, so I do appreciate everyone's hanging in there with me. Make sure to like and comment. It really does help support the channel if you haven't done so. Also, subscribe. Woof. But most importantly, enjoy today's gameplay footage and this deck. The link is down below in the description. Holy Toledos. If you enjoy it half as much as I have, you're going to be livid. And of course, when we wrap up, we have the cat hiding the pack. And, like I said, there's going to be a whole bunch of meat hooks in here, right? Sit back, enjoy. All right. 2 lands. Not great. I'm going to look for 3. We do find 3 plus the heart. Allowable. Keep 7, which is quite nice as well. There's some early on interaction, a little bit later on here. Look for another land right out of the gate. Reach goes. It's not bad, but not really what we're looking for right now. That is. And there's nothing in play, so let's just sneak this World Tree in tapped. Let me find another green source. Wow. Okay. Why not? Let's just go for it. I mean, I like playing the heart immediately, but if we can play legendary creatures here and make the most out of it, dang it. Hope they don't. Well, I mean, I hope it's gone now. It looks like our opponent is bricked. It's hard because we've just gotten a very nice hand. Right. Could have attacked for 1 there with Vigilance, but why not just go for it? Go for it, go for it. 1 damage isn't going to change the game much when they're... Oh, they found a land. So not too bad. And then they make up for the lost land here. Interesting. Okay, cool. Very interesting. There they go. They've caught up just like that. Uro saves the day. Really have anything in our graveyard yet. All shrined out. Why not? I think we could even go for it after the... I mean, I'll take the damage here. That's how it should be done. And it's a very nice turn, right? That's really, 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 really good. I'm going to take Demonic Tutor. That's actually fantastic for us. And maybe toss out... I'm going to toss out the Wrath. Keep Circle of Confinement or the Holy Ward. It can take Uro out. So here's the Provisioner. Seen that plenty. Make a treasure token, which is very, very, very good. Let's be honest. That's a cool card. Land and tapped. Sorcery. Oh, where are you? We've seen it right away. The Sanctum of All. That can enter the battlefield. Make the 1/1. It is a shrine that enters. And, I think we save this. We can maybe just swing in for 3. Beautiful, and turn. We could do enough damage to it. I like that quite a bit. Or to the player. There we go. I haven't played with shrines in a long time. This is like my first match. Playing with the shrines, we'll learn it. I think it could be a very good deck. Reading is too hard, chat. You know this. Decent. Get into that spellbook, baby. 3 mana generated into a lionfish. First spell during an opponent's turn, you may tap or untap a permanent. Interesting. Search our library. Oh, this goes so many ways. What do we want? Probably drawing cards, right? We want the blue one. There we go. Because we're on an empty hand, right? So we want to draw some cards. We'll draw a few cards, huh? Discard the land, I guess. Oh, we'll decline this. We don't need any more cards. We don't need any more draw cards. This is busted. This is super busted. I apologize. Maybe they've got a field wipe, but I almost doubt it. I don't really want to be drawing. At the same time, it would be good to play. I think anything here is worth taking. We keep Sealed Away and just keep playing in those shrines. Hexproof is great. Let's just end turn here. Destroy a creature with toughness, I guess. And let's slay the Provisioner. Well, we can just like deal damage to them directly and win the game. That is busted. Okay. Maybe Shrines is a good deck. And that effect was doubled too, right? Just like our draw earlier was doubled. Oh my lord, what have I done? 3 lands, you know, with a turn 2 ramp. Feels pretty good. Our mana base is fairly acceptable here as well, thanks to the Triomes. 1 Eyelash coming up. This is a blue. We have double white. Everything but blue. We have red, green, black. I like the ramp, right? It's helpful. I suppose Triumph could have won out. I feel like we're fine. Just toss the commander out, get the most out of it. This is pretty good. Right? What is this, an elf deck? Dude, quit playing so many cards. It's clearly cheating. You're clearly cheating. Hello, good game. Lord of Sloth. Oh, they're playing the same commander as us. It's a mirror match. That's fantastic. Just realizing this. Let's see whose deck is better. Interesting. They do have 3 mana. Enchantress Princess. We do have this for ourselves as well. Skyclave Relic. We don't run this. Wow, you're a dirty doogie. We do get a land. Another Triumph. And we go to the command zone. That's fine. Yup. We force a discard of their whole hand here. That is brutal. That is so brutal, dude. Wow. Yikes. Oh, now is this at the beginning of our upkeep? Okay, I thought it was at the end. This is beginning as well. Reading is so hard. Can't read these cards, chat. All right, here comes the commander. They get a draw. They create the token. Infinite Rage. They're doing stuff here as well. The beginning of your upkeep, so we don't need to worry about that. Beginning of your end step. Okay. They discard their whole hand. That is just GG's. Yeah. Don't even know. Cycle this. And then we're grabbing. Oh, there was no shrine in the top 7. Yikes. And let's just keep it simple. Here comes a massive smash. That's so much life. Dealing 4 damage. Back to the command zone. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing in our graveyard to take for its ability, so it's just a cool body. Or 8, which isn't a problem for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This makes a bunch of mana. This makes some mana as well, so not worried. We actually lose Catilda to exile, so we can't recast it as the enchantment. That's a bummer, but it's fine. No cards for them to discard. We do draw, and we do draw some more. Oh, Lord. We could push up the 1/1 creatures, I guess, at this point. Shroudskis. Shroud is good. Chico's also really good. All right, play this card, play this card, play this card. You know, it's just silly. It's just silly. Like, I don't even get it. Like, we can play our commander no problem because of the Sanctum Weaver. It just generates so much mana for us. Why not? Go crazy, dude. You like my shrine deck? Do you like my shrine deck? We should have saved 1 mana for the Scattered Heights because this would have dealt lethal damage to them as well. It's a complex deck to run effectively, I guess. There's so many different things going on here, which is a good sign within a Brawl deck. I'm fairly certain. Watch us lose the game now. Could you imagine? Top deck of Field Wipe. But even then, it would have to be destroy all permanents. No. I mean, that's good. They do get a draw here as well. Create the 1/1. The land, though. So that's going to be lethal for ourselves. Well, I guess another draw. That's not going to help, though. Game, dude. They cast it because they would have to discard anyways. We draw just like a bunch of cards. We're just going to exile their field state. They're tapping us. What a bully. We're really going for the survival game here. Pa, 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 pa. Oh gosh. I mean, just yeah. How about this? No attacks. Here's a shrine. Uh, 16 white mana. Should have done this first. Here's Hallowed Haunting. Oh, Lord have mercy, HGG. This is not funny. Here's this. LOL. I mean, it's just fun. It's fun for everyone. Here's the Mancheek. Why not, right? Probably could have done this before our attack phase. 34, 34. I mean, it's all right. Yes. Of course. All that glitters. Why not, right? Oh, HGG, have mercy. Oh, this is creature or planeswalker. We don't have the one that does it to the person? We need the one that does it to their person. Now we don't have the draw? Oh, I thought it was the other shrine. Sure. 13 dudes. Discard some cards. Maybe they could top deck a field wipe. The deck is just too much. Classic Brawl deck. I thought this was the other red shrine, and I was just going to deal lethal to them. Whoopsie, whoopsie. I don't know if that's gonna do it. Holy dude, just stop it. Not funny. We mill ourselves. Could we mill ourselves? Probably. I don't doubt this at all. Seems to be a lot of green here. Oh no, we need it to be red. I don't think it matters. That's gonna give us all the mana we need of all the colors we need. Oof. What a sport for staying in here. Did I just attack? Is this bad of me? Is this bad of me? I gotta show the deck's potential though, right? We just don't have the red. Holy. Well, I guess we should cast our Life's Origin first, right? Just keep going off, right? Until we tap out. We time ourselves or draw out. $66. There's that red land. Like, where have you been? Where have you been, dude? Oh my lord. Oh, 6969. Nice. We gotta start putting that somewhere else, that means. Hee hee. Wow. So that's the new Brawl deck, I guess. Pretty crazy. They do have the blocker on our now 7171. Fortunately, we still take Barbary on lethal. And have access just to like way too many things here. Oh my gosh. Huh. Opponent goes first. We do have 3 land. This land does lead into an Azika. Azika? Azika? Sounds like a spice. Rika? Have you added the Azika to the soup yet, dude? We have no drop on 2, so it would be a good time to do this. Yart, right? I'm gonna grab a red source there, I think. Red or blue? The life gain build, interesting. Da, 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 da. Red, I believe, is the choice that we've settled on. 1 mountain. Cool, 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 cool. A lot of forest coming up. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We kind of want another white source too, though, right? For the haunting. Maybe red wasn't the way. I'm sure we'll make it up somewhere. I get the scry. Stays on top. Yikes. Yarks, dude. We do have the second white source here. Add 1 mana of any color, though, right? Through the God of the Tree, which is nice. And then other legendary creatures are also going to gain this as well, which happens to be some shrines. But they will need haste if they're tapping right away. No blocks, down to 21. Oh, and they've got a fight effect. A ram through, killing our god, which is actually really good. If they see our hand, they'd know this. But we can't let it stop us, right? We could kill... is this other? No, we could kill the escort. I think that's probably our best bet. Zika. Zika. Who knows? Auto pay. Oh, I keep thinking that we can deal damage to their creatures. It's just their person. My bad. The ethereal escort could give it life gain. No blocks. Ah, down to 17. Howie? That's actually not bad. I guess let's go for it. I mean, we're taking the Moon Dancer for Shizzle. They can immediately recast it, but it's not a 4/4 anymore, which is helpful to me. Enchantment card from the grave. Don't have that just yet. They take the scry to the top. We grab it anyways. It goes to the command zone, being reset. And the temple is in play. We grab the monk that generates mana. We smash for 2. We deal 1 damage extra to their person. Oh, we don't. No, it does not, because we don't have that mana. Let's see. Magic is hard. It's been a while since I played Brawl like this. Oh, that is good, though. The first strike is fantastic here as well. I guess let's just go for it, dude. They could have a fight effect. Push the dancer to 3 and then damage equal to effect. Not a fight effect because, well, no, first strike is not like Death Touch. Well, now it's a 9/9. First strike is a combat phase. So the fight effect would still go through. But we hit for 9. That is hefty. That's a decent amount. Pay 1 for 1 damage. I'm not going to block with it anyways. Oh, no, pay 3. Number of shrines we control. This is a shrine. Oh my god. The token that Life's Origin makes is a shrine. I know all these things because I built the deck. But, you know, when you really play through it after, it's different. Honestly, when I built the deck, it's just like, okay, search shrine. And then just added everything that came up. Nice one, HGG. Born Daddy is just that. This is an Omega Daddy here. Interesting. This is a mana rock as well. 1 less to cast perpetually. Interesting. We do not have a blue source. This will add mana of any color, though. Another shrine goes out. We make the token. This is an 11/11. And it can remain in first strike mode, I believe. Or do we just start... Let's Let's maybe just go for it. Whatever, right? You deal with it, dude. I know you have to block it. I would throw the Moon Dancer in front and then sack the Escort, indestructible life gain. You've blocked the damage, you've gained 5 life, and it's all okay. Really? They just lose Big Daddy V. Right. We do actually have mana. Yeah. Let's kill the Dancer again. Reset that. Of course, they could still sacrifice that Escort to protect it. It's not a minus effect. It's X less than. Or less than X. This is fine. There's no landfall triggers going off. No worries here. Getting some life. Daddy, no. Well, so that was a good play, dude. Do like to defend the temple, though. Let me tell you what. I'm going to dump in for all 4. The big boy. Fantastic field wipe. Holy Toledo's. Voice of the Plenty. Not Bard. Where's that blue source, dude? Land out first, then we can dump into it. Dump into it or the token that it creates. I'm going to decline this one and dump in here for 2. Beautiful, dude. And that's a big hit, right? Probably not blocked, but soon enough they will have to. I feel like that soon enough is probably next turn. I had no idea shrines were so powerful. It's not something that I've played with since they first came out, and it was really like Ugin supported the whole deck. Still not a blue source. Holy. We can scry for the blue source or white source. Oh, but that's really good too, though. I mean, draw engines, right? We don't, like, if we had the hand, we could activate this ability too. Okay, probably see a double block here, hey? Interesting. I mean, a double block's not bad. Double block's not bad. Come on. Don't be shy, Starfield Mystic. Come on, get in there, dude. Okay, I want to press attack. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like lagged out. So just a single block, that's fine. We appreciate this. Okay, much love, much love. Some counters, you can't say that that's bad. Like it. I think we still just smash in. The double block is not actually. Should we have? Did we dismiss lethal? Ooh, I don't know. That could have been risky if we went all in here. Actually, it already is looking bad. Yikes. Okay, so We're losing the Mystic. Oh, we lose them both. Hot dog, dude. Some good plays here. Some good plays. It's not great. Yes. Good for you. Had the battle tricks in hand ×2. I wish we had more mana. We do get to draw, which is nice. Earl cannot be played. We don't have a freaking blue source, dude. No mana. No attacks. Interesting. They're dumping in like a dirty dog. I don't have blue! Oh, Lord have mercy on our souls. We need a white source. We need a blue source, preferably a blue, which draws a white. Dang, dude. They could get us quite quickly. No blocks here. Out of 10. Slow. It's slow. It's a shrine, though. No attacks. Yikes. Holy. Ouch, dude. No, just keep that one back there. You lose Ugana. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, just. We'll have more than enough enchantments, though, because the origin creates one. Plus, we get the spirit. That should give us flying, and now we can block with vigilance. Right? And maybe, just maybe, we can survive. It's looking a lot better now. The hand, it's filled up. We can cast some of these things that we couldn't before. We're allowed 1 blue spell per turn. This is no problem for us. We have the blockers. It's okay. Make plenty goodies. Oh, they're bringing something in. It's Vorinclex. That's bad. That is bad. That is bad, dude. Oh, that might get them the win. What a dirtydoogie.com. Bringing you the dirtiest doogies found on the web. You're a dirty doogie. Yeah, this dirty doogie went to market. Oh, that sucks so bad. Kills our origin, and that's, important to us. It is important to us. Very much so. Wow. That was good. Just when I thought we were back in it. Can we draw a field wipe? Is that a possibility? Yeah. Yikes. Only this was a 3/4. We could get away with a little bit more ideal. Gosh, dang it, dude. No, it does not look good, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have 1 blue source. 1. Hey, there is some stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go right for it and cast it for 6, even though we don't have enough in the grave. Then we won't have oh no, we should. Maybe not. We would get 3 things in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd have 1 mana left over. Take the scry. That is good. We all have hexproof though. And this is whenever you cast. 2. Yeah. I think we need to cast to make the spirits. That's going to be in our best bet. No, they get it because of the flying, right? This is a spirit, though. That does help. But no flying. You sure? Oh, they have to be enchantments, not spirits. Good game. Good game, good game. I mean, it's pretty cool, though, nonetheless. No flying has boned us here. If we went the other way, I think we would have had flying. Pull these 2 back, we would have had 3, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we still would have been 1 short, hey? Yes, we would have been 1 short. 1, 2. 1 land short of being able to do that and play the 2-drop for the flying. But the dance was not there. Good game flying, right? Really, really close. Really, really close there. Well, all right, going first, 3 land plus the signet's very good. We have a field wipe. Worst case scenario, all that. Ooh, that's not bad. Either is that. We like the land. We like ramping with Uro. I don't know how scared we are of their field state. That's, something that makes spirit tokens, or fairy tokens, I guess. We might want to just sit on that. It was just wow, right? Just wow, right? Another land in play. We take the scry here, which is also helpful. And, look at that. Another land. And if we're hitting our lands every single turn, it's going to be hard to lose. No tax. They do have first strike, shutting down the visitor for now. We'll get through it, though. Replicating ring, not bad. This is going to trigger the visitor up to 2. We do also make a another shrine here, which is quite nice. Still no attacks with that visitor, which is kind of a bummer, but whatever. And we're set up here. This feels fairly decent. Elspeth's ready to nuke their commander. If that happens to be the playline, I feel like we might actually just ourselves get field wiped. Either way, just keep the archives. That's not bad. I might just snag it. It's a good source of mana ramp. I might get it on that. And then Wrath can still destroy all the creep. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So close. Oh, wait a minute. So close indeed. Are we going complete dirty dog here? Absolutely, dude. All right. If for 6 as well. That's aggressive. We probably should have taken Key, though. Guaranteed we get punished here for not taking Key to the Archive with our Elspeth. But if we can cast Elspeth on top of Shark Typhoon, you know, now we're just... I don't even know if laughing's the correct word. Yackling. No blocks, take your damage. I don't know what you have triggered from it. Be a Kato draw. A marked hook. Wow, okay. Yeah, and like I said, absolutely punished for not taking it, but the Shark Typhoon remains in play. That is good too. Ooh-wee. I'm gonna take it with Elspeth. They do have mana problems, so this is a big hit. However, we've lost our field state, so they deserve it. A little bit of punishment. No land, here comes the scoop. But, I mean, that's what it is. Win one way or the other. This is actually an easier way to win. I mean, that's not bad. They're still playing mana sources, even if not lands. Good. You know, they're continuing to punish our field state. So we have nothing to feel bad about. I guess we should probably take the ring at some point because it's going to replicate. It's going to do what it says. We should probably take the ring, dude. Don't worry about it. That'll come back to bite us later. So I'm just going to take the draw. It still frigs off because we didn't cast it. Now, land in play. Land in play. That is actually frustrating. We're not getting around that. I wasn't even thinking of that when I took Uro. Should we have taken the visitor? No, we still got a draw, and that draw is worth it over everything else, right? So here comes a tutor, make a shark. You know, well, do we take the shrine, which we should, or do we take our last answer? This is what we should take. This is what I'm going to take. Why not? Huh? Why not, dude? Let's hit for 4. We can cycle one of these triomes, I suppose, since we're not playing them both. It's a trap! Players can't cast spells from graveyards. Okay, I mean, sorry, Uro. Are you in exile? You're in the grave. Phyrexian Metamorph, new card. What do they copy? Our arcane signets? They're Oh! They copy the shark. Nice. Dirty Doogie. Cycle out. Kami's cool. We have extra no mana. Little sharkaronis of our own skis. I mean, killing the shark's not bad either, but just take the ring. Let's just keep punishing their mana base, right? And then Death Touch says burr. Block for 4, why not? Not too shabby. We have plenty of more firepower in our hand, right? So, good game. You know, they were still playing mana sources, but unfortunately, we can easily remove those mana sources. Holy Toledo Shrines turning out to be an incredibly powerful yet entertaining deck. Having just so much fun with this over-the-top build. With you know, not necessarily a mechanic, but a set or an archetype of cards that we haven't really had the ability to use competitively, which is quite interesting. And you know, it's crazy how few things you need to actually change that. And the commander Go-Shintai is so good. You know, just making those shrines that you can capitalize off of with all of the other shrines is fantastic. I did already open a pack. You've missed it. Sorry, my bad. No, we'll do another. Maya deleted the footage is what happened. So we pulled the Shipwreck Marsh, and I was calling it the Shrimp Wreck. It was fantastic footage. I'm sorry it was deleted. Maya, a little upset. She's like, that wasn't a meat hook. How are you going to pay for my fancy feast on this kind of shrimp budget? You know what I mean? I don't want the shrimp stuff, dude. You know, I want prairie chicken or bust. And I want into this pack or bust. I feel like a child, dude. Like a child will probably be able to get into this thing. Holy Toledos. Well, let's get after it. We do have an art card that will slip through. Get your werewolf on, Doogie. You know, I'm almost forgetting about all the werewolf cards. Midnight Hunt was so long ago. But one thing I do remember is the meat hook. I do remember Disciple of the Drowned. I remember the Hull Breaker Horror, right? We want some goodies. We don't want the Bramble Armor or the Scob or the Corpse Cobble or the, you know, what is all this? I don't even, are we playing a game of Limited here? Shady Traveler. Oh, the Celestus. This is not a bad card. We actually do not mind that. And that's going to be all. So we pull out a Celestus. That is fine by me. It's, you know, a card that's actually played. I find value in it. I use it in many of my decks, which is fantastic. And lots of the times, I'll use it alongside a Shrimp-Wrecked Marsh as well. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate you supporting the channel. The likes, the comments, you subscribing. It all goes into helping support that YouTube algorithm. And in turn displays my content to more YouTube users, and we can grow the community and have just a fantastic time, right? And speaking of growing the community, make sure to join the Discord today, Junior. And you know, we're always going in there 24/7, keeping up, sharing different things as well, right? And that link is available within the link tree description below with the deck list, or just Google Hello Good Game link tree. And more importantly than everything today, just have a fantastic rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you again.